Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Ramses Soto from Big Brother. Welcome, Ramses. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Hey, guys.
So excited. So as we're going on, people will be asking you questions, but until then, everyone knows you are a super fan. So I'd love to hear, what inspired you to go on this show, being a super fan?
Well, I'm a super fan, so that was my main motive. And you know what's really funny about me applying? And the thing is, you have to be 21 to apply and get on Big Brother, right? So I started watching Big Brother 3 or 4 years ago. It was season 16, the first season that I ever saw. And I was like, I'm in love with the show. And I just binge watched every single season from then. And I just knew, I was like, oh my God, if I ever want to be on a TV show, this is the show for me. And I really want to be on this show. So I just went for it. And I literally put it out in the world. Whenever my friends would ask me, I'd be in class, at school, and people would be like, oh, what are your goals for the future? Now, I kid you not, every time someone would ask me, I'd be like, I'm going to be on Big Brother when I turn 21. I would literally say that constantly. So I just put it out to the world. I was confident. I went into my interviews and I nailed it and I got on the show.
That's amazing. So how was it being 21? I mean, you were kind of on the younger side in the house.
I was the baby. I was the baby of the show this season. I want to say that it was an advantage because I was very energetic and stuff like that in the house, but also it's a disadvantage because you know me from the show, my personality, I'm very, I'm too nice. And I said this in a lot of my interviews before. It's I let my niceness take control. And sometimes I don't look at how other people could be having ulterior motives. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
So people are asking questions, and this kind of goes with what we're talking about with the show and stuff. So Maddie wants to know, what was your first reaction when you got in, when you were accepted to Big Brother?
Well, hey, Maddie. Well, I'm sure a lot of you guys know my reaction, and it was a huge GIF, apparently. The first, week of Big Brother, I heard that my GIF was trending when I was like, I'm here! I was so ecstatic. You can't fake that energy. I was just it was euphoric. It was I wasn't scared at all. I wasn't nervous. It was more just I was just hyperventilating internally. Holy crap, I'm here. Holy crap, I'm here. It's happening. My dreams are coming true. And I don't know. It's just a burst of energy.
Did you have a hard time going into the house? So now you're a super fan. You watched all the seasons. What was your game strategy when you went into the house?
Okay, my game strategy to go into the house is I wanted to play a very chill game. I knew going in there that when I was very knowledgeable on the show, so I knew what to prepare myself for. But I also knew have a strategy of kind of just lay low and straight up be yourself, because being myself has got me a lot in life, just being nice and bubbly and being genuine. And I felt like being like that in the house was going to get me far, which sadly it didn't, because Big Brother is a completely different story, But yeah, my game plan was pretty much to play a game kind of like season 15 Andy's game at first. I wanted to play it very chill until when it was almost point for jury. And then at that point, I wanted to just be okay, this is all the information I've gathered, because I was sitting around. I was very chill, never really talked game with everybody, but I was gathering so much information and I had a lot, but it was just hard when you don't have an ally next to you, which Jillian was my biggest ally, and all the girls, and they all left day after day. And I was like, ah.
You think you would have aligned then with different people, or are you just happy about the experience and the way it turned out?
Obviously I'm not happy how it turned out because I wanted to win.
Money, but
right. But I really wish, always, obviously it's hindsight 2020. At first when I got out the house, I had a lot of regrets, but then looking back at it, it's I played the game I wanted to play, and it just didn't work out because there are other people playing their own game too, and sometimes our games aren't going to align with each other's, and that can mess each other up, So me playing chill, being nice to everybody was working. There was someone, Paul, who was saying all these things behind my back. And those are the things that you just can't control, So if there wasn't someone talking stuff about me behind my back, then I maybe would have been in there longer, because I was playing the game how I wanted to. I just didn't get the chance to be all crazy how I wanted to, but up to the point that I got to, it was the game I wanted to play, so I'm happy with it.
Right. And then, I mean, it seemed like, did you feel, because what I saw on the show is like, you kind of second guessed. You were like, no, I think I'm going to go home. Like, do you wish you would have just like talked to Jessica more and been like, no, this really is happening? Or were you just not?
Yeah. When it comes to Jessica, it really it upset me so much because the week before, it was like I knew Jessica was alone, and I had been alone since pretty much Jillian's eviction. So I was like, okay, I need an ally. And I literally was playing to Jessica, trying to play to Jessica's emotions with the whole like, oh, I've been alone for so long in this game, and I know it's super hard, and I know what you're feeling with Cody being gone, yada, yada, yada. And I literally was getting information. People in the house were straight up telling me, Ramses, the plan for next week is to put you and Jessica up for eviction. So you need to win. You need to win HOH. And I literally went to Jessica, gave her that humongous piece of information. She wins HOH. And because Cody comes back in the game, she still puts me up. It's like, dude, you're literally putting up someone who the house wanted to get out regardless. So what are you doing? Like, you're getting rid of an ally, someone who legit tried to help you. But it's okay. I mean, the game goes how it goes, you know, unpredictable, expect the unexpected. So I can't really be too mad about it.
Yeah. Was it, as a fan going into the game, was it kind of how you expected, or from the outside in, is there just like, is it just completely different for you?
It's absolutely different. And I see a lot of interviews of like people before I went in the house, like a lot of alumni, and they talk about how, oh, literally your game plan is going to be out the door. Like, don't go in there with too many like preconceived notions and too much of a strategy, which is what I wanted to do. And I kind of did, because I really was like, I just want my game to adapt. But yeah, it really completely changes. You really don't expect like all the emotional stress and all the emotional connections and all. Just like the fact that there is a bunch of other people who are actually in there playing as hard as you want to play and want to win this as much as you do. You know what I mean? So it's just like a lot of stuff that goes into it that you really cannot expect unless you're in there.
Okay, let me get back to some of these questions because I just got distracted by you. You're so fun to talk to.
That's okay.
A listener wants to know, what was your favorite thing about being on the show?
My absolute favorite thing about being on the show, the competitions, because that is literally something you cannot experience anywhere else unless you're like on another reality TV show like Survivor or Big Brother, you know, like you can only imagine how those competitions are going to be. And let me tell you, those comps are so freaking hard. Like I would sit there and I'd be at home and be like, oh, I'd do that in a minute. I'll kill that competition. And literally I got in there. None of the competitions were catered to me, which sucks. I'm like, oh, if they would have had this competition from this season, I would have done so well. But no, they decided to throw the wall comp, which we all know I have no upper body strength, you know? So it's just like the competitions was super amazing to go through.
Did you have a favorite one?
My favorite comp, I really like the one where you run around, the veto competition, where it was like the airline one where we had to run around, which I almost won, and I totally tried to throw it. Like I literally, it was hard. I would literally, while I was playing it, I was debating, should I throw this or not? Should I throw this or not? And I was like, I just need to throw this in the end. But just the fact of me just being in there playing Big Brother, like playing my first veto comp that I have to save myself, I literally was like, I just forgot that I had to throw it, and I literally just went ham on it. And I was just like, yeah. And I totally thought I did really bad in that competition, but apparently everyone just sucked really bad at it.
Yeah. Let's see. Bruno is asking, when you went in, who was your initial biggest threat and that you had to get them out?
My initial threat was Paul. And we all saw that when me and the girls made the alliance. Never did that target ever change in my mind. From the day that I got into the house to the day I left, Paul was my initial target. But the hard thing with Paul was that you could not verbally say that you were going to come for Paul, because I just knew that every single person in the house was working with Paul. And after Jessica and Cody put me on the block the week that they were HOH, I figured, holy crap, maybe they're working with Paul too, because it would make no sense. You know what I mean? So at that point, that's kind of why I never really talked to them too much, and why it seemed like I wasn't playing hard. But it's like, dude, I couldn't mention Paul because if I mentioned Paul, I was going to go home even earlier. You know what I mean? So Paul was definitely my initial target. At some point, Dominique became my target too because she just like did a lot of stuff that didn't sit well with me in the game. But that's when I came out, I'm just like, oh yeah, I was just being paranoid. You know what I mean? But yeah, Paul was 100% my target from day 1 till day 37.
Yeah, and I mean, watching this show as a viewer, I was just so surprised that he was a vet. The fact that he lasted so long, you would think he would be a target for a lot of people, being that he already played the game, knew what he was doing.
Yep, and as a super fan, I had 2 ways. I was like, align myself with this guy, or don't align myself with this guy. And I was like, no, this guy just needs to get out. And I was like, this is the game I want to play is try to get out Paul. But once literally all my allies were gone within 2 weeks. And I literally was like, okay, I have nobody to talk strategy with that will actually want to go against Paul. I know that everyone else is with Paul. So what do I do at this point? It was just such a hard situation.
Yeah. Did you actually watch it back this season?
Yeah, I did. I had to give myself like 3 weeks to recuperate. But then like my Big Brother fanness was like, okay, I have to watch this season. No, I can't just spend the rest of this Big Brother summer not watching, you know, because I'm just so used to watching Big Brother every summer. So yeah, I gave myself some time to just detox from the show, and then I watched back, and it was really the only episode I haven't watched was the finale because I was actually there and we didn't have too much time to actually watch it all play out, you know. But yeah, besides that, I've watched every other episode of it.
Okay, Kiana is asking, what did you bring your Big Brother suitcase?
Ooh, in my BB suitcase, I feel like I overpacked a lot. I packed my kangaroo onesie. I packed quite a few. I packed like my finale outfit for when I was gonna win BB. I was just like, yes, I have my shoes, I have my jeans, I have like everything ready for that. And I had a bunch of comfy clothes. If you are ever in Big Brother, bring plenty of sweaters and plenty of like sweatpants because it gets so cold in there. It gets so freaking cold in there. And you think that you're in LA and it's going to be warm, but no, when you're inside the house, it always gets really cold. So I brought a couple sweaters. I should have brought flip-flops, which is one thing I did not bring. Flip-flops, definitely bring those. And yeah, just a bunch of comfy clothes, some cute clothes for like live evictions and live shows and stuff like that. And then my kangaroo onesie.
So is it the bag that we see when people exit the house, or did you get more than just that duffel bag?
Oh yeah. Well, we're not gonna live in Big Brother for 3 months if you make it to the end with just that duffel bag. You know what I mean? So they give you a duffel bag, and in there you pack all your necessities, like toiletries and stuff like that. Stuff like you'd be traveling, you know. And then you have a separate bag, which is like the rest of your clothes.
Yeah, but some of the comps and things we see, like it looks like maybe they give you clothes to wear that because you guys all met for the comps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, like a lot. They have like the costumes for the competitions, like the nerdy outfit I had for the one I had to zoom in and out that we got worn. Like there's a lot of different costumes. Like people would wear like the helmets and suits like that. Like for different comps, every comp has like a different theme, so they give us those.
Okay, Abby is asking, which I'm guessing this is a yes. Have you been watching Celebrity Big Brother? And if so, who do you align with?
Yes. And I want to say, I actually think like it might be too early to say, but not really. But I actually feel like this might be one of my favorite seasons of Big Brother of all time. It is absolutely amazing. But anyways, who would I align with? I would align myself with Ross for sure from the beginning. I'm totally Team Ross. I've been rooting for him since day one. I team myself up with him, Ari, and who else do I think would be good? And Meta, because Meta would be a number. Ross would be really good to strategize with, and Ari could also be a number, but she's proven herself to be very low key, but she knows what she's doing. So those are people that I would definitely align myself with. And Shannon, oh my God, girl, she is so overplayed, but I love her and I want her to go far.
It's hard not to, right?
I know.
Okay, so I have a question for you. You entered the Big Brother house with a very interesting job. So are you still doing the costumes? Like,
yes, I do cosplay still. I have been traveling a lot. And since I didn't win Big Brother, I don't have all the money that I was hoping I was gonna have to do more and more cosplay. Because anybody who cosplays knows cosplay is a very fun, fun job to have, but it's very expensive. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing it for yourself. Like when I get commissions, then that's awesome because I get to have fun and I get paid for it. But if I'm doing a costume for myself, I have to come up with all the money for myself. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and to answer your question, I am still doing cosplay. Cosplay is awesome. I'm going to a few conventions this year that I haven't gone to. I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con, which is humongous, and I'm so excited to go to. I might be going to New York Comic Con, and in just a few weeks, I might be going to WonderCon, that's also in LA. So I'm preparing some cosplays for those, and I'm really excited.
So fun. Hannah's asking, who's your favorite person or character to cosplay?
At the moment that I cosplay, I really like Ryuko from Kill la Kill. She is a character from an anime. Not a lot of people watch anime. If you're an anime person, you know who she is. But I cosplay her. I made a humongous. Her sword is like half of a scissor, and it's literally as tall as me. And I carved it all by hand from wood, and then I painted it, and it has like this like iridescent like red like metallic look, but it's all made from wood, and it's literally super tall. So that's one of my favorite pieces that I made.
When you say you carved that, like you are sitting there just carving it?
Yeah, going ham. So I literally just found a piece of wood in my garage, and it was humongous, and I was like, I can carve this into a sword. So I started like chopping it up, and then I sanded it with a bunch of sanding stuff. It took like a couple weeks to finish, but the end result is super cool.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so I have more questions, but I'm going to show another comment. It's not a question. It's kind of a question. She says, you're my hero. Can we be best friends, please?
Yes, Sienna, of course. Of course we can be best friends.
So going off of that, I've talked to a few different Big Brother people. Elena, who told me that you guys actually had an alliance at the beginning, which no one really saw.
Nobody knew.
Kevin, who just absolutely adores you. So who are you still friends with from the Big Brother house, and do you see and talk to?
Yeah, well, people who I stay in touch with, I like to talk to everybody at some point, you know, but there's obviously some people that I talk to more than others because I bonded with them more in the house. Like Jillian, I love Jillian. We text like every single day. Mark and Elena, I love those guys for life. They're amazing. Oh my God. And I miss them. And I want to road trip down to their house because I'll have a complimentary room, I'm assuming, I'm hoping, in their new place. And also Kevin, I've been to Kevin's twice already. I spent like a whole week there with his family during Thanksgiving. Who else? And I talked to Josh on and off, but we don't talk too much because I know he's super busy. But those are mainly the people that I talk to constantly.
Yeah. So, okay, back to the Secret Alliance with Elena. Was that just one of them we didn't see, or did you hop around from people? Like,
well, I wasn't really like super sneaky because, like I said, I wanted to play it cool and I wanted to be chill. So Elena was definitely one alliance that I had literally day one. Like literally, I saw her. I was like, I really vibe with you. Like, let's try to work with each other. Like, we never like named any alliances or anything like that, but we were like, I have your back. And we literally would go in throughout the entire time that I was in the house. We would have moments every week where we just meet somewhere in the storage room, talk for like 5 minutes and be like, okay, break. And we just go away because we were in different sides of the house. So I'd give her information about my side of the house and she'd give me information about her side of the house. So it worked out well, but it got to a point where it just got really like weird and the whole pause, it just got really weird. So yeah.
How are the sides of the house whenever, because they were talking about one side of the house versus the other side, is that just where you lay your bag or did people move from rooms?
Well, what do you mean, like sleeping situations or like alliance-wise?
You guys refer to like on the show, they'd be like that side of the house or that side of the house. Like, was it physically divided or are you guys just saying that side of the house?
I don't think it was physically divided because everyone was kind of like intermingled within the rooms. Like you could obviously tell like Jason and Alex were always next to each other because they were really close friends. Like I was always sleeping next to Kevin because we were really close friends. You know what I mean? But I think when we talk about divided, like sides of the house, it's mostly like alliances. Like this group is mostly working together and this group is mostly working together. So that's what we mean.
Right. It seemed like you and Jillian, obviously you hit it off right away. Was that just you walked in and you're like instant best friends, or was that like a few days later and we're just kind of seeing from the show, not the live feed?
Yeah, well, with me and Jillian, I honestly, at first, I was like, I don't know if I want to align myself with this girl. She seems super shy. She might not be able to campaign or anything. But just like, she really bursted out of her bubble literally on day 2. And I was like, oh my God, this girl is a female version of me. She's super energetic, super bubbly, super quirky. We do the weirdest, funniest things in that house that like obviously didn't make the show because for time, you know, but we just did so much funny stuff, and I just vibed with her so well. And I was so annoyed when she went home, but yeah.
Did you have, going off of that, some funny memories or just like things we didn't see on the show that you wish would have been shown?
Well, there's a lot. When me and Jillian would always be in the Apple room, and we just like would ramble about the randomest stuff, and I'd be crying laughing because she would crack me up. There was like this really long pillow in the Apple room, and it was like really long pillow, and we'd like pretend it was a roller coaster. We'd be like, okay, strap in, and we'd make sound effects, and we'd be like, oh, and people would walk past and be like, what the heck are you guys doing? We're like, it's a roller coaster, come join us. So yeah, we used to do really weird stuff like that.
I mean, people watching, obviously we understand, like, you kind of have to make your own fun, right? Like, there is no TV, no radio, nothing, correct?
It gets so boring in there, but it's like boring in a way that it's like, oh, there's nothing to physically do, but your mind is always doing something. You know what I mean? So it takes a toll on you and your mind, but your body's like, oh, there's nothing to do here. What do I do? So you just keep each other entertained.
And so did you feel like there was times where you were just like, you could just chill, or did you feel like you were always waiting for them to twist some plot?
You kind of just like don't want to think about the twist too. Well, in my case, I didn't want to think about the twist too much. I kind of was just like, okay, think about it once it happens, but think about possibilities. You know what I mean? I didn't let it consume me because I know if I overthought the twists, it was going to be a problem. So yeah, you kind of just like sat around, went about your day, and hope Julie Chen didn't pop out of nowhere yelling house guests. So, because that's never a good sign. So
was the house, I mean, obviously you've told us multiple times, like, you were a super fan, so you probably knew like what the house was going to look like and all that. Was it how you felt it would be, or was it just like so much?
It's bigger than I thought it would be. Because on show, obviously, it's the cameras, and they show that the house is big, but you get in there and you're like, whoa, this house is huge. Like, what is going on? So, and it makes sense because once you see all the 17, 16 people in one house, it makes sense that we need all that room, because if not, we'd go insane just crammed in one place. But yeah, it's huge. It's a really big house.
If you were, someone asked earlier, sorry, I've lost some of the questions on here. They asked if you would go back in the house. Would you do it again?
Absolutely. Like, literally, they could call me like in 2 seconds and I'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll quit my job. I'll do whatever. Like, I'll go back. Because I feel like I did not show what I was capable of doing in Big Brother, because like I said, I went in there with a certain like way. I wanted to play very chill, very casual. I didn't want to overplay. I didn't want to over strategize. And that's what I did. But with the season I was given, it didn't really work out. But I was like, if I'm ever in that house, I'm going ham. I'm not going to coast until halfway. I'm going to play the game that I know I can play, and I'm going to win. So literally put me in the house.
So what would you say then, tips you would give someone who would like to be on the show is a question here. So, or not even just be on the show, but if you had a different strategy, like how would you recommend someone play the game to make it farther in the end?
To play the game, make sure social game is really big in that house. Social game is very, very big, because in the end, people are mostly going to vote on social because they might not know all your strategy. You know what I mean? So you really want to make sure you go in and you have a really good social game with everybody, and make sure you have a game with, which is what I was mad too. I didn't have a good game rapport with a lot of people in the house because they wouldn't let me talk game to them because they're all aligned with Paul. So you want to make sure you have a good game connection with everybody. It doesn't have to be a lot of like, oh, I'm getting this person out, but make sure you have small conversations with everybody about possibilities and like, oh, how do you feel about this game of the game right now? Like, what are your thoughts of like what's happening? You know, because the game connection is what gets you far with people.
Right.
Yeah.
So going off that real quick, I meant to ask you this earlier, but you were very close with Kevin. Like he told us you were like his man in the house. Like you guys were really good friends, and you and
But he voted me out though. So
how does that? Like, how do you guys?
Guess who? Paul. Why else?
Yeah.
Listen, Paul ruined my game. I mean, I give him props for it. I absolutely give him props because for someone to get me out, he deserves to win. That's how I thought. You know what I mean? Like, if he did all that work to get me out, and I know I would have killed this game, then he deserves it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like Paul was just like in everyone's head, and I just absolutely love Kevin. Kevin was my guy. He was like my father figure in the house. He was just someone I could always go to just for a laugh, you know. And that's the thing. Kevin and me were really good friends, but we never really talked game. You know what I mean? And that makes a lot of difference in the game. You have to talk game with people. You have to.
So were you able then to, I mean, everyone I've talked to has had nothing but good things to say about you. So I feel like were you just very good at separating the game from the personal relationships?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because especially from watching, I can really understand. It's like, dude, like we're here to play a game. Like people are going to act different. So don't judge people for it. But when you're in the house, it makes such a difference because like, for example, Josh with the pots and pans, or like Cody being like stone cold, or whatever, however you want to think about it. Like those things actually affect people. You know what I mean? So you really need to keep those in mind.
Okay. So I guess talking Maya, I think their name, Maya wants to know, are you and Paul friends now?
Hi, Maya. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can separate game from anything, and I give him props for even getting me out. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say we're friends. I consider myself friends with everybody, but we're not super close because we don't talk that often, you know? But I love everyone who I was in the house with. I have no beef with anybody. I have nothing bad to say about anybody, you know, just all good things. And I just hope everyone's doing awesome.
No, that's great. Okay, I know I'm missing some of these. Someone asked earlier, what was your favorite thing to eat in the house?
Not slop. Oh my God, I hate it. It literally.
Can you describe what slop is for us?
Oh my God, you can't even like describe it. Like literally, no, I'm serious. Like I want to cry. Like I hate slop so bad. Just thinking about it like makes me want to throw up. It's like, this is the best way I can describe it, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying this for effect. Like, think of like dried Play-Doh. You know how it's hard but still kind of squishy?
Oh,
imagine that ground up into like little chunks with like birdseed and like chia seeds, and then really tasteless, or they have this like protein powder and then another grainy substance that nobody knows of. Think of that, and you have to eat that with nothing else but pickles and ketchup.
Oh my God.
It's so bad. It was horrible. Like actually, I was really good with like making slop cookies and like slop stuff, which I didn't show on the show either. I was amazing. I came up with quite a few recipes that people would like eat before I even had the chance to. But yeah, just slop itself, it just gets so old so quickly, and it's very tiring. So.
And so like, I mean, that's what you eat or you don't eat, right? If you're on slop.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I would watch the show, I'd be like, oh, just eat the slop. And then I went through it and I was like, oh my God. Like I volunteered to be on slop the very first week. Like literally, it's like, oh, it was just so draining. And it really takes a toll on you. Like with the competitions, you do not think about how much slop can have such a toll on you when you're competing. Like in the competition, you had to hold the hand up thing where I made third place. I literally, like for the last hour, I could like Christmas and me would just hear my stomach just grumbling because I was starving. So it just like slop really takes a toll on you in the game, but that's part of the game. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, a lot of people have been like, I like your style and you're so cute and
Thank
different things.
you.
So we'll pick Amber's comment. She says, why are you so fly? So going off that, I guess like being
Hey
so
there, Amber. How are you? I don't know. I'm just fly. Just try.
been being out of the house and like obviously you go and you go from like your everyday life to you're on Big Brother to you have people following you and wondering about your life. Like, how has that been and how have you stayed just like who you are?
It's so weird because you literally just, because I don't know, I like to consider myself a very genuine person, and people see that in the show. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's going to change for any reason. Like, I'm just going to be myself, you know. And I don't know, it's really weird, like, going into this show, a completely normal guy, like, don't get me wrong, I totally am, like, completely normal kid, was just going to school, struggling with bills. Like, I'm still struggling with bills, don't get me wrong, but, like, I'm, like, just this completely normal kid gets on this, like, humongous, like, national rated TV show, gets out, and everybody knows me, like, everywhere. And it's just, like, you kind of just have to take it by stride and be like, okay, so everyone knows me now. How am I going to react to this? Like, you know, it's a lot of like mental preparation. You kind of have to make sure it doesn't overwhelm you, because at the same time, you were through Big Brother. And if you made it 37 days, you can't really let anything else overwhelm you too much, you know? So kind of go with it. And I just love talking to people. So if you ever see me on the street, please say hi. I love talking to people. What's really creepy sometimes is if people would like take pictures of me from far away or like run up to me, take a picture and like run away. And I'm like, dude, no, just say hi to me. It's okay. I'm a human. Like, I'm still the normal kid before the show. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, you're like, no, stop. I'll take a picture. I appreciate that. I like that because people do watch you and they follow you and then they feel like they know you. So it's great that you're open to like being friends with everyone.
Yeah, and I really like taking the time out to talk to people about it too. You know, I'm just like, if you have maybe questions, let me know. Like, I don't know. I really like talking to people. I'm like that, you know.
I know we just have a few minutes left, but I'm gonna try to ask a couple more questions. I saw that casting is coming up, so Amber wants to know if you can give her audition tips for her tape.
Okay, Amber, this is so, you guys are going to say that, you guys get this answer all the time. And I know Elena even said this last time, but be yourself. Be yourself. Like, literally, that is all they want to see. They just want to see yourself. The thing that you want to tweak a little bit about yourself is that you know yourself. Like, I knew myself. Like, I was a nerdy person. Like, that's me. Like, I'm very bubbly. And I just kind of played up to that because I knew that's what they're going to like about me. You know what I mean? So I was just like, they're going to like my really bubbly personality. Go in there, be my bubbly self. Just amp it up 1%. Not 2, not 3, just 1%, because you want to show yourself at like your like peak, because those are the clips they're going to get at you from you in the show, you know? So be yourself, amp it up by like 1%, and stick to who you are.
I love it. And then I guess, because gosh, it's so easy to talk to all of you guys. I'm like, I could just talk to you for like all day. But we'll end it with, if you want to give some advice for the future house guest, or just your tips, things they should focus on, because you just lived it. So you can share what you want to tell them or anyone watching.
Mm-hmm. Just like tips to be in the show, or like,
things like you were mentioning earlier, things you wish you would have packed, or like how you wish you would have the game, just like some final words before, like if they were right there about to enter the house, what are you going to tell
them? Play the game. Don't coast. I know that that's sometimes a strategy, and you might think it might work with you. I thought that with my personality, it would work, but it just sometimes doesn't. And you really just have to think of options. Like, talk game with people. Just talk game with people. Don't be afraid to get your opinion out there, because your opinion is what's going to get your targets out. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing I can say. Talk to people, be yourself, make genuine connections, and play the freaking game, because you're on Big Brother.
I love it. I love it. Well, we would watch you again. This was so fun.
Oh, thank you. It was great.
Yeah, you want to say anything? I know there's like people that you've gotten to say hi to as we've been talking, but since you have built this following, I guess I was going to end it with that, but we'll end it with this. If there's just anything you want to tell people that have watched you, people were even like just commenting. They love just how you are and how original and how you're yourself. So if you just want to say something back to them, now's your time.
Yes, like thank you so much, you guys, for like supporting me. Like I tried to stay genuine as possible because that's just like me, you know. I don't want to change myself because I like who I am, and just like be comfortable and confident in yourself. And thank you so much for supporting and watching and really enjoying the show and just sticking with me throughout this crazy ride. It's been really, really insane. So
what can we expect from you in the future? Are you working on any fun projects? Or
yes, I'm always working on a project. Like I'm a cosplayer and I'm very artistic, so I'm always working on something artistic. I am working on my YouTube channel. It's a lot of work, but I'm actually posting a YouTube video right after we talk. So if you guys don't subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do that. Yeah, so I'm working on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start doing a lot of cosplay tutorials because people have been really interested in cosplay and what really it is. So I'm really interested to show you guys that side of me and show you a little bit more of my artistic creative side. So
wonderful. Thank you so much. You're an awesome guest and I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was great. Thank you so much for having me. It was great. It's so much fun.
Bye.